everyone, and welcome back to my channel, or welcome to my channel. Now, if you're new here, this is my Victrix Miniature series, and this is part 13. Now, for everyone who's already aware of my channel and has been following along, you probably noticed that I've been away for a very long time, and there's several reasons for that. But yeah, I'm back now for this video, and just to kind of talk about what's been going on, what's coming, and yeah, just an update really. So in my last video I did a massive unboxing of all the models that I purchased, which was for my Macedonian army, and in front of you can see one of the units which I bought, which is the Macedonian phalanx. And basically what happened was I was painting these guys up, and I got really burnt out. I'd really pushed myself this year to paint quite a few models and just experimenting, but I got a bit carried away and I got burnt out. So that's one of the reasons why I've been a bit absent from YouTube. Also, another reason is that I had a severe nosebleeds, which kept happening quite a lot, and I had to have my nose cauterized. So it actually happened while I was painting the first time, and yeah, there was lots of blood that came out of my nose, and yeah, had to get it cauterized in the end. And yeah, I really struggled to get back into the hobby. I was like procrastinating for a long time, just trying to get back into it, but just couldn't find the motivation or enthusiasm to do it, which is really unfortunate. But I have been like on and off trying to get back into it, and one of the things I did was actually look at different game types or model types, different manufacturers, just to try and give myself something fresh to do rather than just painting historical miniatures. So one of the things I actually did was I looked into Star Wars Legion, which I'll talk about in a little while. But first, I guess you're all here really for the Macedonians, so I think it's only fair that we go over them first. So, as you can see, there's quite a large unit here, and like I said, it really did burn me out painting these guys, but I do like the end result of how they turned out. So, how I approached this was a bit different to how I had approached the Greeks, which I've previously done in my other videos. And the reason for that is, or the difference is, if you like, is the bases for one are a lot more simple, because the old bases which I did, or the ones that I've used on the Greeks, are a lot more time consuming, even though they do look far better and far detailed. It did eat up a lot of hobby time, so I opted to do something a bit simpler on these guys, especially as there's a large unit here, so doing this type of base on all of those guys and the rest of the army would take a long time. So but also I chose this aesthetic is because the Macedonians and Alexander the Great, they battled in India, in the Indian jungles, and I took inspiration from a film which I mentioned before, which is Alexander, which is all about Alexander the Great conquering most of the known world, and all his achievements along the way. And I really like the colour scheme from that movie of the army, and that's why I've gone for this this white and brown kind of look with the gold shields, and also the banner, that's the colour they used in the film. And yeah, so I was really inspired to build this army, and it's just unfortunate that I got burnt out. But another way I approached this army was I wanted them to look similar but also look different, which is that's a bit contradictory, but the way I achieved it was, okay, so they're all like in a uniform look with their spears up, but they're not all symmetrical. there are slight variations. They're not all perfect, as you can see. Like all the spears are like they're not all lined up perfectly. Another thing I did to add imperfections was to use as many different helmets as I could. So I've used quite a few from different kits here. I can't exactly remember all of them, but some of them from the cavalry, some of them are obviously from the Macedonian phalanx kit itself. I used some from the latest Greek set that Victrix released, and I also bought a sprue from Warlord Games of their Macedonians, because someone suggested in one of my videos that I should use the bodies that are thrusting their spears forward to add a bit of variation. So I thought that's quite a good idea, and I purchased a sprue from Warlord Games, and this is the sprue here. So you can see the bodies are differently posed to the Victrix miniature ones, giving you a different pose. But unfortunately, the spears here, or the pikes, are a lot thicker than the ones you would get in Victrix. Also, the arms wouldn't match up exactly, and the bodies are a bit thinner. However, they are quite nice models, I must admit, but I didn't want to mix and match in that kind of that drastically, if you like. But what I did do from the sprue was I used several heads which came with it. So I've got a few in my army here. One I particularly like is this one, which is like a masked variation. I think that works really well. Let's see, what other ones were there? It's only subtle differences, but yeah, it just helps to break up the army a little bit. And another thing that I decided to do to break the army up was to not just use one colour scheme, but to use three different types. So if I can just bring these guys up. So as you can see, each of their tunics, or armour, sorry, are all painted slightly differently. And that's just to give a bit of variety. So the entire squad is painted up with an equal amount of each of these guys. I hope that makes sense. But yeah, I just wanted to point that out. Now, yeah, I did have fun painting these guys, and it was, I think what burnt me out really was that I tried to paint them all at once in like a factory line, and yeah, it just really burnt me out. But anyway, moving on to the command squad here, I opted to use a rectangular base here rather than the circular one which I've used for my Greeks, because I think the Macedonians are more, they're more of a formation type of army, so that's why I've done that. Yeah, I think that's basically everything covered on the Macedonians. I hope you like them. I'm not sure when I will be doing the rest of the army, as I do have another project in my sights at the moment. But yeah, I'm definitely not going to be going as fast paced as I did in my previous videos, so I'm sorry about that. If you're expecting a video every week or so, I just can't cater to that, I'm afraid. But I will be putting out future videos, so just stay tuned for that, I guess. But yeah, one of my future projects is, I've got a few Normans here from the Victrix line. I just bought a sprue of crossbowmen because I like the look of them. However, I won't be painting them as Normans, but yeah, I just thought I would show these guys off as like a sneak peek of things to come. Yeah, I'm really fascinated by the medieval line, which Victrix is currently moving forward in. They've already released some knights, mounted knights, and they have some foot knights and foot sergeants coming down the line, probably next year I would have thought. So we'll be purchasing them and having a look at those as well. But yeah, my very last thing I want to quickly talk about is the Star Wars Legion, which I mentioned. So I've always had an interest in Star Wars, and I've been keeping an eye on some of the Legion models, or the range that they do, and I quite like the Wookiees. So I've got I got a pack of Wookiees here. Yeah, just want to show you them. So this will be like a little side project which I'm going to do. I've actually built and painted one. Well, it's not complete, but just doing the fur at the moment. I think they're quite quite detailed models. They are very expensive, especially in comparison to something like Victrix. But yeah, it's just something different to do. Like I said, just to keep things fresh and that. So yeah, I think that's it for this video. Thank you very much for watching, and thank you for being patient while I have been absent. Hopefully my next video won't be too far away. But yeah, hope you've enjoyed everything. If you have, please feel free to like, comment and subscribe. And yeah, I'll see you again next time. Thanks for watching. Bye for now.